tryna make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't tryna grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't tryna link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, for the record.
Alright, so in this episode 3, I guess, episode 3, episode 4 of Men's Essentials podcast, gentlemen, I have my chief editor, my chief cinematographer, Vatsal again. And today we are going to talk about something. The thing is, the very first episode got a few comments where it was more like, Mayank, this is supposed to be a podcast. You are not the only one who is going to talk. If you are the one who is supposed to talk, then why don't you just do it by yourself? Why do you have someone else? So I'll try not talking a whole bunch in this one. I have a few interesting questions for you. I want you to know your story on it. One would be a bit more entrepreneurship work related. The other one would be a fun one to talk about. So I hope this video kind of serves the purpose of this podcast being a podcast where two of us can have a conversation, and let's see like what can we share with our insights and how can we help them. How can we help anyone get better at whatever they are at. So how was the very first podcast like? You had fun? Like how was it? Did you enjoy it being back on camera? Because you had a tech channel in case anybody knew.
Yeah, like it was pretty good compared to the old tech days.
Okay.
Like I was very camera shy at that times.
Yeah.
But after, playing with the camera, being a cinematographer, photographer, experiences.
Cinematographer, photographer. So yeah, so in case you don't know this, he's the guy who's shooting all our Instagram and YouTube, and everything that looks good is probably shot by him. Everything that looks bad is shot by me on autofocus, so that's that. We are talking about cinematography, photography. The first topic that I wanted to talk about to discuss was Kiska baja? So apparently people forget to put their phones in silent. Anyway, so the very first thing I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to get your perspective on it too, is that if somebody who's watching it, who's young and who would want to find his way out as a freelancer or as an entrepreneur, whatever it is, how did you as a freelancer find your first client? How did you manage to book your first gig or get it done? You can have your perspective on freelancer. I can maybe share my own entrepreneurship. Like how did you do it? Like I'm more interested in your story here because that just makes more sense to me. To know how can an aspiring photographer who's just like, I don't know, there would be many 18-year-olds watching this who would want to have their own photography thing as a hobby thing, whatever, like they're in college and they would want to do it. So how can they go about finding their clients? What is the first step you did? How did you find your client?
Okay, so first thing is like you have to put out your work to the public. Okay, the first thing is like you have to show your work to the public, like what you actually do. So the best way you can start from is like your college festival and all stuff.
Okay.
Like they have separate department of photography. You can start from there. Okay. Meet new people, gain some experience. Like you'll gain a lot of experience like shooting events, portraits. Okay. So eventually you will start. You have 3 years of college. You can practice for 3 years. Yeah. So you have 3 years of experience in that. Yeah. After that you can start on Instagram. Call your friends like, hey, I want to shoot your photos. Will you be a
model? Okay.
Okay. They will be eventually model.
Okay.
So if you have something to put, then you can show to the model, oh hi, I'm a photographer, I do this kind of work. If you are interested, we can collab. Yeah. So that's how like I started.
Yeah, you have collabed a lot. You have been to Singapore, you have been to a lot of fancy places collabing with people. So how did you find your first client? Who was the first paid client you had that Vatsal, this is the money, be down for the shoot?
Okay, so it was a guy from a college only. Like he wanted to shoot a music video of himself. So like past I have couple of films and all. So he watched my films, like he knows like what I do and all stuff. And as we were in the same college, so like let's do it. Okay. Yeah, that's some pretty cool budget like. So like we can make it.
So that was your friend was your first client. And then how did like you put that work in your show reel, or how did you, and then how did you find any other client, like by referrals, or how is it?
With first client, like you don't have to think much about the money. Okay. You have to first build your show reel, like you can actually show to the other public and make some money out of that part of video. Okay. So like the budget was pretty low, but I have to spend extra money to make it good for myself so that I can send that video to the other client so I can get some work from it.
And then eventually clients just started approaching you that were like...
Not really, but I have to like after 10, one may respond
So you approach 10 clients
Yeah.
like that. Okay, so that's the very basic thing that many aspiring freelancers or entrepreneurs don't get. Like, if you don't really have a brand out there, why would anyone want to work with you? They don't even know about you. Like, there was this one thing we were trying to do, like when we were trying to do, it's just that we started, like, if we want to run a production and nobody knows about a production, how do you get clients? You find clients, you go to them, knock their doors, make it happen. So if you are an 18-year-old or if you are a 19-year-old who wants to get a job, and if you apparently know what you are passionate about, like you knew photography, cinematography, then first of all you have to be good at it. You have to learn some basics so that somebody will actually want to pay you for your job, which you did for 3 years. And in between you can start approaching a lot of people. Maybe out of 10 maybe one would be apparently interested, which is a very good number. That's never the case. 10% conversion is never the rate. You ask 100 people, 2 of them will say yes. That's a decent 2% to 3% conversion rate. That's how it is. Like, it's not so easy to be in a place where you find freelance jobs, but it's out there. If you really want to if you really want to do it, if you really are into it, you'll probably do that too. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's how you get a freelancing client.
Now also the Instagram DM works. Instead of email or approaching physically to a client, now you can send the DM.
Okay.
Hey, I like your stuff. We can collaborate for future project. Let me know if you're interested. Works.
It works. So there are many ways. Like, social media has actually helped a lot of things nowadays. Like, it has speed up the process, and yeah, like, it makes sense. True. Because I haven't ever, like, coming from my story, I haven't ever gone man-hunting clients, because I wasn't aware of it back then that I'm building a brand, but I was more on the, like you said, like the showreel thing. Like, I was more into always making the showreel. So what happened in that process was I just got approached by clients. In that whole process of I enjoying the process so much so that just money started just coming in like nowhere. Because and that was a very stupid, naive part of me, because I wasn't really a business savvy. I didn't really know about business back then. I knew what to sell, how to sell, but I did not know that how to sell more, or how the basics of selling, or the basics of business. How do you develop? How do you think things and whatnot? My whole idea was I like to make videos. I like to talk about men's style and grooming. So let's just keep rolling and making videos. So that brand kind of helped me find my clients. But that's not that's not an immediate cash rewarding thing. Like, if you have the patience and if you have the time, if you really want to sit on, like, it took Men's Essentials 3.5-4 years to monetize its own content. If you have that much time, sure, why not? But if you want to make some quick money, you have to start doing a lot of basic business work, which is finding clients, sales, pitch and all that. I'm not good at it. We are learning our way to sales, but yeah, we'll eventually do that. But now we are in a place where we get kind of approached by a whole lot of people. So we have put our brand out there, so it works. But then that's not overnight. That was like 5-6 years of making content. That's an easy way to get clients, actually. If you're in college, you can do what Vatsal did. He has a shit ton of clients. He's flying all over. He's working on. And also one more thing, that you are. It's quite interesting that people think, not interesting, it's quite stupid that people think that being a freelancer is easy. Like, you have a chill life. I have my weekends. Like, you even work on your weekends. Like, you are actually working here 5 days and then you're doing your own freelancing and weekends. Like, you're barely having any of your me time as such. So if you're really and that too depends on a lot of things. Like, if that'll depend on your goal too. Like, what do you really want? How big is your goal? Like, you're an ambitious guy, so you're willing to sacrifice your weekends for it. Many would not be. They'll be fine with maybe just one client in a month and be done. So you have to find your balance. What do you really want it for? What is your goal? And if you really think it's that easy, it's not. You have to put in the work. But once you really love the work, then it doesn't feel like a work. It does feel work at times. Like, sure it does, but at least you are not hating on it. That's an interesting part. Cool story, Vatsal. What else do you have to share?
You can start working under another photographer or cinematographer,
like,
who is more
someone
senior to you,
okay,
who knows a lot about photography or cinematography better than you, who has more clients. So, like, by approaching him, like, hey, you are doing some great stuff, I can work under you. You don't have to pay me the money, but want experience.
Have you done it with anyone?
Yeah.
You assisted people?
Yeah.
Oh wow. How was that? Like, you got to learn a lot, or what is it?
Yeah, like, I was doing some film back then, so I got to learn more about the industry and all stuff.
Okay.
Like, how to actually work, how to light the place, more about cinematography and all stuff. So back then, by doing that, I get to know more about the clients, because many people come and go.
Yeah.
You have to build just network over there.
Yeah.
Because there are a number of lightmen, cinematographers, assistant cinematographer, directors.
Yeah.
So you will create the network there. So, because these are the people who will be the future director and a cinematographer.
Yeah.
So that's how you have to going to put out the network out there. That's how you're going to approach them.
Yeah, that's how you make money if you really want to make money. Like, that is the hardcore sales way to get into it. Networking. Make people, meet people. Make people, meet people. Meet people, make money. Meet people, make money. Yeah. That's nice. That's insightful. Thank you for that. So anyway, thanks a lot for listening to the podcast. Thanks a lot for watching it. If you're watching it on YouTube, you can hear the audio on the SoundCloud by clicking the fun of the links in the description box. This is fun for your drives. This is fun for, I don't know, before you sleep or whatever it is. This is how I listen to a podcast. So I thought, why not put up our own show and make it happen. Anyway, in case you like this, in case you want to share this video with your friends, do that. In case you want us to make more of these videos, don't forget to click that like button. Use the YouTube algorithm and make it work in our favor and this podcast. I'll see you in the next one. We'll see you in the next one. We'll probably have Vatsal again. We'll probably have someone new. Who knows? But I hope this was well worth your time. See you in the next one. Jai Hind.
For the record.